Have you ever wondered why, in the forest, where every square centimeter represents a battlefield for survival, the chanterelle appears as though protected by an invisible force field? Among thousands of fungal species populating the woodland floor, nearly every one becomes perforated by midsummer, riddled with insects, larvae, and worms. But the chanterelle remains immaculate, resilient, brilliant. The system has conditioned us to accept this as fortunate coincidence, as merely the way this particular mushroom happens to be. Yet nature contains no accidents. The chanterelle carries within its tissue the most sophisticated biological weapon against parasitism ever engineered by evolution. While corporations exhaust billions developing toxic pharmaceuticals that scorch your microbiome alongside the invaders, the chanterelle offers an elegant molecular pathway to liberation. Today, we pry open the dossier on the planet's most underestimated cleansing agent and discover how this yellow cap can conduct a comprehensive audit of your body, eradicating not only the parasites themselves, but the programming through which they manipulate your consciousness. Examining ancient herbal texts and folk medicine archives reveals that our ancestors called the chanterelle the golden guardian. In northern latitudes, where dietary options were limited and contamination risk from water or food ran high, the chanterelle served as a primary survival guarantee. It wasn't merely eaten, it was stockpiled as strategic reserve. Traditional knowledge held that when a person lost the light in their eyes, became apathetic, or suffered unexplained pain, their internal resources had been captured by unwanted occupants. The chanterelle represented the instrument restoring one's vital energy. Notice, however, how medicine became centralized and systematized. Knowledge of the chanterelle was deliberately reduced to simplicity. We were permitted to regard it as a delicacy, while the protocols governing its actual application were erased from collective memory. The system has no use for humans with impeccably clean blood and lymph, because bodily purity constitutes the preliminary step toward awakening volition. We were steered toward chemical dependency on pharmacies, while the antidote to most invasive processes grows abundantly in every pine forest. Now let us examine this organism through the microscope and analyze its chitinous infiltration mechanism. The chanterelle's primary treasure is the polysaccharide known as chitin mannose or hemomannose. This substance possesses the singular capacity to block parasite nervous systems, inducing instantaneous paralysis. What renders it genuinely extraordinary, however, is its ability to dissolve egg casings and cyst walls. Nearly all contemporary pharmaceutical poisons target only adult specimens, leaving enemy seed stock untouched, thereby guaranteeing recurrent infection cycles and perpetual revenue streams for drug manufacturers. Hemomannose, by contrast, functions as a comprehensive sterilizing agent. The second defensive layer involves ergosterol. This compound directly influences liver enzymes, supporting hepatic regeneration following severe toxic assault. Researchers note that interaction between chanterelle components and the internal environment facilitates bile duct clearance, essential for optimal brain function. Additionally, the chanterelle contains trametonelic acid, regarded in ethnobotanical literature as an effective tool against hepatitis viruses and other systemic threats to hepatic tissue. From a physiological perspective, the chanterelle does not merely cleanse, it resets your body's primary filtration system. Who benefits from keeping chanterelle information confined to culinary recipes? The consumption management apparatus. Biology has long established that parasites within the organism are not merely cohabitants, but active hackers of your behavioral patterns. They secrete neurotoxins, generating cravings for sugar, refined flour, alcohol, everything that sustains them while degrading you. Parasitic intoxication constitutes a primary driver of depression, chronic fatigue, and cognitive fog in 2026. The exhausted, mentally clouded human represents the ideal consumer profile. The chanterelle dismantles this dietary terrorism. Ethnobotanical reports emphasize that following proper engagement with this fungus, individuals experience dramatic shifts in taste preferences, return of natural energy levels, and most significantly, dissolution of internal anxiety. The system fears the clean organism because a human liberated from internal parasitic pressure begins thinking critically and independently. For the chanterelle to operate as a biological instrument rather than mere dietary fiber, one must understand the crucial secret the system diligently conceals. Hinomanose is a thermolabile compound. It degrades completely at temperatures exceeding 50 degrees Celsius. This renders fried, boiled, or salt-preserved chanterelles useless as cleansing agents. Salt represents Hinomanose's second enemy. It deactivates the molecular configuration entirely. Traditional sovereign health practice employs cold extraction methodology. Mushrooms undergo dehydration at minimal temperatures, never exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, followed by grinding into fine powder. Ethnobotanical protocols recommend infusing 1 teaspoon of this powder in room temperature water for 8 to 10 hours, typically prepared overnight. Researchers note that consuming this infusion along with the sediment on an empty stomach for approximately 1 month enables the organism to complete a full cycle of natural renewal and purification. This approach permits the mushroom's components to work gently, avoiding toxic shock from mass die-off of hostile microorganisms, as the chanterelle operates systematically, layer by layer, cleansing all bodily systems. This represents your personal biological autonomy technology, unavailable for purchase in pre-packaged supermarket form. Today, the chanterelle file closes. Remember that this vibrant fungus symbolizes nature's provision of everything necessary for our independence. The chanterelle does not merely cleanse the body, it restores your entitlement to your own sensations, preferences, and thoughts, liberating them from foreign influence. If you are prepared to continue eliminating systemic parasites, both biological and mental, and reclaim your innate power, subscribe to this channel. Here, we learn to recognize functional tools where others perceive only decoration. Enable notifications. Our comprehensive investigation is merely gaining momentum. The purity of your body constitutes the foundation of your sovereignty. The choice remains yours. Continue serving as nutritional substrate for the system, or reclaim your status as master of your own biology, employing the ancient wisdom of forest gold. Refuse to let the system think for you. Seek truth precisely where they attempt its concealment. Re-establish connection with nature. Assume full responsibility for your existence, and remain sovereign.